everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am here with Javoni. Welcome to the channel, Javoni.
How's it going, everyone? It's nice to be here.
So today we're going to talk about Chaos Magick and Norse Paganism. So we're going to have a little bit of back and forth conversation on this. So in regards to Chaos Magick, when I'm trying to manifest things, usually I might use a piece of parchment. I might use my blood on the parchment, or I might use ink, and I might try to inscribe various runic sigils, or I'll inscribe sigils of other various magical orientation. What do you try to manifest when you're working in Chaos Magick, for instance, Javoni? What are some of the things that you try to manifest with it, or how do you use it, like your process?
Primarily, I use it to protect other people if they need protection spells done, or I would use my energy with Chaos Magick to manifest certain things I may need to get through the day, or any other major things that I like to manifest. Straightening out the energy, especially when it comes to spiritual work, working through my chakras and connecting with my higher self and stuff like that. And the way I practice Chaos Magick is in my own individual, unique way. Even though I have the intentions to protect my energy, it's like spontaneously. I can feel the energy come from my hand, and then it's like I see a blue pentacle, and even though that's not my intention to see that, it just appears in that way in my mind's eye. And obviously, blue is the color for protection. Like if you ever work with candle magic. And yeah.
Do you feel like so I think we talked earlier about kind of like this second sight that people just naturally have, but when you're a magician you kind of really tap into it. So when you're doing Chaos Magick, do you feel like there's this sight behind your eyes or behind usual sight to where you can both see and feel the energy in its own way and you perceive it, and then that's when you work with it, that's when you either manipulate it or kind of channel it to protection or whatever you're trying to manifest? Does that make sense? Is it kind of like a second sight in a way?
Yes, it's it can be encapsulating to manifesting, basically visualizing. And when it comes to seeing something through your mind's eye, it's for example, if you think about something and just instantly manifest in the astral, in the fourth density, and then it can be helpful to see that and then visualize it when you just close your eyes, and then you're tapping into that energy, you're tapping into that frequency, and you have to vibrate along with it, and then you become that. And then just comes to your reality.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I usually so it's either, for me it's kind of three different colors a lot of the time. So it might either be this strange kind of black surrounded by this white hue, and I'll be manipulating either a sigil or some kind of symbol that just comes to me, or I might see it and I might try to cast it with kind of my mind's eye or my third eye, what have you. Or it might be some kind of blue energy or red energy. Red energy is usually I connect with passion, and usually when I see that, usually when I understand that my intention is that passion, and then I work with that energy in my mind's eye. Do you think that blue, red, and different colors are associated with different kind of elements of the will and what you're trying to do? Is that something that you found in your own practice?
Yeah, it started to grow into that when I started to understand that what I was seeing, that pentacle, is it's not my imagination. The more over the years I started to get used to, discerning what's my imagination in my mind's eye and energy. And so it definitely can be helpful where I'll see a certain thing, different colors for a certain intention, and then sometimes yellow could even be deflecting any energy back that's being projected towards me, or purple is it absorbs it and transmutes it, it becomes mine, and then I can use that to my benefit.
That makes sense. Yeah, purple is I usually think of it as a royal color, even in my head. In history that's kind of how it is too. But
Yeah.
even the astral, I think purple is one of the high. There's a crown chakra. So do you feel like magic really is a manifestation, an extension of your astral body, and you're really working with that energy and kind of trying to affect the material realm with your astral body or with your energetic form in that way. Does that make sense?
Um, in a way it does, but like it's more like even though like your astral body is not an expansion of yourself, it's still you, part of you. But it's like with me, it's like there's like an expansion of the energy of what I'm tapping into to bring it to manifest it to me. So it's kind of like it's showing itself to me, like, here I am, you want to manifest me. So it's like I'm taking that, like my energy comes out, go out to it, and then it just matches with it into, and that's what, and I become that, and then it just starts to, manifest my reality.
So does it feel like magic's kind of it's a process of spiritual evolution in a way for like who?
I feel like, yeah, it definitely can. It can be. It can help you learn what you want to learn, and um, aligning your chakras in order to tap into your higher self and then experience enlightenment and even ego death after the experience of Kundalini awakening.
And yeah, it does feel like a waking up. So it a lot of the time when I'm casting or when I'm trying to manifest something through magic, there is something that I learn about myself deep down as far as because a lot of the time, so I'll use kind of like free speak. I don't during a ritual I won't necessarily have what I'll say, or during a magical practice I won't have exactly what I'll say, but it'll just come to me like something kind of past me, something behind my ego is explaining and manifesting through the ego. It's just speaking through this, physical form. Is that kind of what happens with you? Do you feel like there's something behind the ego that you start to realize is a part of yourself, or you start to feel your actual self behind everything?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. The way you word that is very fascinating, and it's like that benefactor of you know what can help you and guide you, and knowing that it came from something much higher than us, and it's like it's providing this for us so we can like work through our spiritual evolution. Like, here you go, this is the tools that you need, and then we're gonna take that and be responsible with it because we're being consistent with our craft every day.
Yeah, it does feel like it a lot of the time these magic kind of like magical revelations, they feel beyond time. It's almost like when we're casting or when we're tapping into our magical energy, we're getting a little snapshot that's beyond our current circumstances or where we're at or who we are at this time. It's almost so do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
So it for me it does feel like, tapping into the force that's behind all the lives I've been and all the lives I will be,
Yeah.
and the inherent nature of my soul. Would you agree with that as far as how it feels to you?
Yes. Definitely. It can be like that. It's like layers everything, and then even though there's different lifetimes, this present moment as who you are today, and it's like that oneness there. Like, the layers is different energies, and then you're that oneness. So you're tapping into all of that, and then working with like you said in the present, and um, it's it's kind of like what we're doing in general, even if we're not aware of it, because we bring that information from the past lives in our subconscious mind, even if we're not aware of it, even as most people don't remember their past lives or don't believe in it, but they can still have some memories or a type of skill they use in this current life from those past lives. They don't have to believe it, but it's there and it's happening. That's the reason why you have this skill in this present life. And it's
Yeah, it
tied up
does. It it,
into you.
it almost it almost feels like muscle memory in a way that's behind memory itself.
Yeah.
'Cause it's we feel who we are and we express who we are, but we don't remember who we are. It feels like there's disconnect between memory and actual being. So we feel being, but then the memory is kind of blocked off in a way.
Oh, yes.
Um, does that make sense?
Yeah. And
And
then
I,
it's,
I and I think it's that way because our past lives, we don't want to get attached to material of who we were, but we still feel that being of who we were.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it feels that way. So do you think? I know it's a strange segue into this, but do you feel like the runes connect to connect to individual souls in a particular way, or what's your understanding or relationship to the runes? Because I know that you have you feel really connected to them when you draw them or when you try to connect them. You feel like there's something that clicks. What is your connection to kind of like the Elder Futhark runes? What do you feel like their nature is? They feel almost trans-dimensional and beyond time to me and like the fabric of reality. But how do the runes feel to you?
The best way that to explain it is like, it's like they're inviting me into their own realm, their energy, and I become that, like, how you get into someone's energy space, they allow me to open that door to allow me in their energy space and to connect with them so I can like use them in a practice to manifest. And it's like it's like that caring, nurturing vibe I get from them. Like, even if I didn't want to work with them, they will want me to, per se. It's the best way I could describe that. And
It sounds like they're kind of like parents in a way. It feels
yeah,
like kind of thing.
right. Like they will call to me and then like I draw runes on me sometimes, so not just like on blank piece of paper. It's like they connect to my subconscious mind. A particular one want me to draw it on myself, and then I will proceed to do that. And um, even with that being drawn on me, that it's like I'm invoking them per se.
They do feel like conscious forces. So in a way, even if you're drawing them on even especially if you're drawing them on yourself, because there's practices of drawing on runes on our bodies for a long time. We of course draw them on paper as well, but so if the runes themselves are conscious, when we draw them on ourselves, it's kind of augmenting our consciousness, and it's almost like our consciousness exists in a connection with them once we focus on them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And so how did you get, do you feel like you're always drawn to the runes, or was there something, some source, or was there something that really got you into the runes and maybe even Norse paganism and Odin in general? Or do you feel like you were just called, or how does that work for your own
Um,
experiences?
where did I begin? Um, when I was like 18, I was just exploring different things. I like looked into different religions and spiritualities, come across Norse paganism, and then I felt like a connection towards like a click there. Like maybe it's that Irish bloodline in me, because like there's that bloodline in me, and so they say Vikings even started out with Irish before it spreads like Swedish, Denmark, etc. And it just felt like I was at home. I felt deeply connected, and I couldn't really understand it back then, but now I do. And so, um, yeah, like it's amazing. Like it's like I always can see Odin, even though I'm not trying to. Like I can feel him now that it makes a lot more sense since I know how to work with energy, and then now I know it's him. And then the more you work with energy, the more things reveal themselves to you a lot more easier because you're connecting to a lot more easier. So connecting to that path and then being led to looking at runes, and at times in the beginning I used to bypass them because I wasn't ready to go dive deeper into understanding the path more, because I don't want to be attached to one thing. I want to keep studying different things and looking at them the best I can. But I was just always pulled back because, like I said, I felt like home. So over time, that's when I started looking into runes a lot more. Like specifically, like 2 years ago, I think I got more serious looking into runes, to be honest. Um, and it was just I had drawn them on me over the years before that, but like I started to get more open to studying them, and it's just I just feel like something that I was always connected to, possibly even in a past life.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. So a lot of people feel connected through blood. For myself, I'm 7% African, 15% Native American, and the rest is kind of like Northwestern European. Got Irish, and then you got all the places where the Vikings were, Swedish, Icelandic, Norway. A lot of people feel connection through blood, and a lot of people feel connection like they just feel that click, and they might not have any kind of blood in them at all that relates to Odin or anybody in the past who was in an area where Odin was prominent, but you just feel that click, and it feels like a past life is just coming forward, and really you feel that connection, and then that connection from the past feels like it has something to teach you now, and it feels like you continue on from past lives with your learning and with your expression, and you keep on moving forward with everything that you've learned and everything that you've practiced in the past. Does that make sense to kind of how you think where things work as well?
Yes,
Is
definitely.
it how does so you're it's kind of hard to describe how a god or goddess or a spirit feels sometimes, but to me Odin feels very, it almost feels like you're stepping into, when I'm connecting to him, it feels like I'm stepping into like larger consciousness and kind of like this always watchful stare and this like very deep knowledge, like essence. That's what it feels like when I'm connected with him. Not a very loud, but a kind of omnipresent, but also just omni-knowing kind of like vibe to him. What does Odin feel like to you whenever you connect to him?
That's definitely why they call him the All Father. It's
Yeah,
that
right.
vibe,
For
and
sure.
it feels like that too, and also like that fatherly vibe, like he wants to watch over me and then guide me every step of the way in my life. Like it almost feels like a responsibility, kind of like I don't tell deities what to do and stuff like that, but I just naturally feel that to him. Like he feels like he's responsible for me, and maybe I was practicing Norse paganism in a past life, and maybe something happened, and that he feels kind of responsible. So, or felt like he didn't do much for whoever I was in that past life. So now he's in this life, you know, getting that in position to be like a guardian in a way. Like he's
So
raising me.
they feel like he kind of like keeps his promises even over lifetimes.
Kind of like more like maybe something had didn't go as planned. And so in this life he feels like he could finish it. And maybe he's my spiritual father because it feels like fatherly and like he needs to watch me grow.
For sure, I also get that. I get that vibe as well. I mean, he is called the All Father for a reason.
Yes,
Father
definitely.
of the Norse gods as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that fatherly and protective energy about him?
Yes.
Uh,
I love that. I
yeah,
love that
it's
everyone
it's
could
a
feel it.
it's its own feeling that's really hard to describe for myself as well. It's almost like it is like almost like walking into a house that you grew up in kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like welcome home, sit down, eat dinner, go to
Yeah,
bed.
right. So I guess before we close out this segment, do you want to talk about maybe Thor or one of the another like Norse god that you kind of connect with, or like
um,
just maybe in little ways or big ways, whatever you want to talk about?
well, like a little way with Tyr, it's like I'm starting to work kind of a little more. I to connect to his energy. I feel very mindful when I invoke him. Just very mindful and aware of everything, and just it's like I connect with like a lot of things in a deeper way. Like right now, I can hear like crickets out there, and it's like I connect with their energy. Just think about Tyr as like I can feel them more. Like the movie Limitless, he's so aware of everything, and like with Thor, it's like protective and would fuck shit up for you. Like, excuse my
Right.
language. He's always ready to fight for you, and that's what I feel from him. And um, it's like that brotherly feeling. Since Odin is like your father, he's his son, and so he has that brotherly feeling. Like, I will fight for you, but I need to push you to do this, which you need to do as well. Like, older siblings do. Like, not like bully though, but that push. And
Yeah.
Freya, definitely like motherly, but in a way, I guess right now I feel a little distance only because I don't work with her often, but I know she's open to that. So um, it's like a quiet energy. Like it's like she's there, but it's kind of like she's not there. Like she's in the background, just watching, observing that you do something like what you want to do in your life or your everyday, even mundane things. It's like she's watching in distance, like a mother watching a child, making sure that they don't fall while they're practicing trying to walk, kind of thing. So it's like a big family you have around you. You know, you have your family and they're protecting you and watching out for you, and just making sure you're doing what you need to do in your spiritual work. And if you need help with it, then don't be afraid to ask them because they're always there for us.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And, I do have a standoffish relationship to Freya as well. She always feels further back, especially
Yeah.
compared to Odin. I'm not really sure why that is. Usually Freya's with she's kind of like a love, but also a warrior and magical being. In a way, she's all like Odin, but just a very different flavor of Vanir flavor. But she does feel like my relationship to her. She's very she stands back and looks from afar, even more so than Odin. I feel closer to Odin, and I think you do too. It just feels a little bit closer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, hey, thank you very much, Javoni, for joining me on this segment. It's been great having you here. Would you like to shout out your TikTok or anywhere else anybody can find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Ancient Bloodline of Light, also on Facebook, like the page, and also the group. Um, you can even find my business, Dario I Psychic Readings, on Facebook, also the websites, and on TikTok, it's Dario I Psychic 33 underscore between Dario and I Psychic. So and very happy that you had me here and we talked about
Excellent.
this.
No problem, man. It was great talking to you. We'll keep on talking after recording, but thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you, and whatever you have to say. At any rate, all of you have a wonderful day.